Hello and welcome to the Danish Woodsman. Today we're gonna do a video which I have been looking forward to be doing in a very long time, because we are gonna take a look at the Böker MPP, which stands for multi-purpose pin. But as usual, before we get to the pin, let's talk about what comes in the box. So when you receive the pin, it will arrive in this box, which is typical for most Böker products. So it says Böker Plus because it's part of the Böker Plus line here on the top, and it has this magnetic thing here to keep the box closed, and some sort of foam inside to keep the product that you have ordered nice and secure while it's being delivered to you. Then you also get this card, which is actually quite funny because it says "Gratulation zu Ihrem neuen Böker which actually translates to congratulations with your new Böker knife, even though it's actually a pen that we have gotten in this case. But it is because both Böker's knives and every other product for that matter is covered by their same warranty service. So this card basically tells you to register your product either by mail or email in order to insure your product and make sure you can use Böker's warranty service. So that was the things that comes in the box. So now let's talk about the pin. So this is the Böker multi-purpose pin, and let's talk about some specs quickly. So this has an overall length of 15 centimeters, and if you can see here, compared to a normal pin, this is just a standard crappy plastic pin. It's actually not that much bigger, as you can see, but there's a big difference in both weight, because a normal pin, I actually weighed them to figure this out. So a normal pin in plastic like this weighs around 8 to 10 grams, so very light and made from whatever shitty materials, whereas this the Böker pin actually weighs 58 grams, so a significant weight difference, and you really feel that weight when you pick it up. And another area where this differs from the plastic pin is in width. So it is kind of hard to tell on video, but the Böker pin is a lot thicker than the plastic pin, and it really gives it some heft and a really solid feel in the hand. And of course, this pin is made from all titanium, and let's talk about how it came to be that this pin is made from such a nice material. So Böker makes a variety of different tactical pin models. They make the 50 cal version, the 50 cal pin, and some other models, and then they actually made the predecessor model to this, which was almost exactly the same pin as this. I'll probably throw a picture of both the 50 cal pin and the predecessor of this in the video so you can see. But the predecessor was made from a all aluminum body with a black coating on top, and it became a very popular model from Böker. So popular actually that customers wanted a more a higher quality version, a more exclusive version of the pen, and that was how this pen came about to be, because Böker decided, well, okay, the customers wants a higher quality pen, well, we're gonna give it to them, and then they made this, which is the all titanium version, and they make two titanium versions of the pen. One is a all bare titanium, which means it's just all kind of metal colored and shiny, and then they made this which is the flamed titanium version, which means that the titanium has been heat treated in order to take this color scheme. So it varies all the way from this kind of blue to orange, purple, blue again, and all the colors in between, as well as the belt clip here you can see, or the pocket clip, which also has the Böker, let's see, the Böker Plus logo here. Obviously, this is part of the Böker Plus line. But yeah, it has been heat treated in order to get it to look like this. And obviously, every pin is individually heat treated, which means that every pin will have a different look to it. It will all have this color scheme, but the colors will not be. It's not 100% sure if you get a pin, it will be orange here and kind of blue down here. It could be orange all the way down here and blue up here and whatever. But yeah. So that was a quick overlook of the pin and how it came about. So now let's take it apart and take a quick look on the insides of the pin. So here we have the pin all taken aside, so you can see what every different part of the pins look like. So one of the first things you'll notice is that actually if you wish to, you can unscrew this bit at the top and remove the belt clip, and just like that you can carry the pin without the belt clip if you didn't want that to be there. And furthermore, you noticed this, which is the capsule which holds the ink that makes the pen write, obviously. And one of the great features about this pen is that it can take refills. So whenever you have written so much that your pen starts to not write well anymore, you just buy a new of these. And I'm not a pen expert by any means, but my understanding is that this pen will take refills from different companies. So if you are into tactical things and like to note down things when you're out in the forest or with the military, you can get a Ride in the Rain refill, and all of a sudden you will actually have a pen which can ride even in wet conditions. Or if you want a higher quality writing experience, you can get a refill from a company like Fisher, which I am to understand is a very nice company who makes high quality refills for pens, and that should, according to other people, really change the writing characteristics of this pen. So yeah, that was just a quick look at the pen all taken apart. So now let's see how the pen writes with the standard pencil capsule in it. So now that we've taken a look at the inside of the pen, let's take a look at how it writes. And I'm by no means an expert, and it's kind of new to me to try and describe how a pen writes, but let's see how it goes anyway. So from the Böker factory you can get refills in 3 different colors. This can come standard with the black one, and you can get both a red or a blue one. So in order to make the pen write, I feel like you don't have to apply a lot of pressure in order to make it write. So I feel it's quite comfortable. You don't have to kind of put a lot of pressure on the pen in order to make it write, so you can hold it with a very light grip and still make it write. So I feel it's quite comfortable. You don't have to as I said, you don't have to pressure it a lot, and I feel like the tip is like fairly precise. It's not the most precise tip, but I guess it's precise enough. So yeah, that's basically how I would describe it. It definitely feels like a high quality pen, and it glides nicely across the paper as you write in a natural way. So yeah, it writes, in my opinion, very well. That's the best way I can describe it. So now let's talk about the philosophy of use and my final thoughts on the pen. So now that we're taking a look at the pen and how it writes, let's discuss the other philosophies of use for this pen, because as the name suggests, multi-purpose pen. It has or have multiple purposes. So we have looked at one of the purposes of this pen, which is obviously to write things, which it does really well. So it's a good writer, but what else can this pen be used for? Well, if we take a look at this end, it has this pointy metal thingy, which in fact is a glass breaker. So this pen is designed to, in an emergency situation, to be used as a glass breaker. So if you find yourself in a car accident or come across someone who has just been in a car accident, you can use this to break the window and assist them. Or that is at least the thought. And the pen is actually quite cleverly designed in order to do that, because as you can see, the pen is thin and progressively gets thicker and thicker and thicker towards the glass breaker end of the pen. And this means if you were to hold the pen like you would if you were gonna break some glass, your finger will naturally fall here. And that actually means that if you apply pressure this way, the increasing thickness will fill up your hand more and more and more, and prevent you from slipping upwards this way and hitting your hand into the glass or whatever you're trying to break. So I actually think that is quite a clever design element of this pen. So the second purpose of this is a glass breaker, and the third purpose is that Böker actually advertised that this pen in an emergency situation can be used as a large ditch self-defense weapon. So they advertised that this pen can be used for Cubiton techniques. And if you're unfamiliar with Cubiton, it basically means impact. It's basically that you should be able to damage someone with this pen. But I have a few things I would like to say in that regard. Firstly, you're not gonna be penetrating or you're not gonna be stabbing anyone with this pen. This end down here, it's very solid and it is pointy, but as you can see, it's rounded off. So you're not gonna be stabbing someone, but you're gonna be able to apply a lot of pressure at this point here, and I will definitely not want to be in the receiving end if someone were to come at me with this pen. But if you were to do to hold the hand or to hold the pen in a natural position for this movement or this movement, you will naturally place your thumb up here at the glass breaker, and that is kind of an issue because, as I said before, this thing is very pointy, so it's actually not very comfortable to place your thumb here. And if you were to hit someone or something with this motion, your thumb was placed here, it's highly likely that you will damage your thumb. But a way to get around that is, if you have the belt or the pocket clip attached, you can slide down here and let your thumb rest on this top part instead. And I think that is the way to go with this. So yeah, in my opinion, it can be used as a large ditch self-defense weapon. Obviously, there are more efficient or better ways or better tools to handle those situations. But could this be used? Definitely. So now that we've talked about the different purposes, let me give you my final thoughts on this pen. So overall, I really like the pen. I like the feel, I like the weight, and I like the looks. And it's a really nice pen that writes well. But I only have two complaints. One, if you look at the titanium finish here, it is very nice. But at this point, I've been having this pen for a couple of weeks, and it has been in my pocket all the time. And actually, it's already starting to show some signs of wear, because if you come around to this side, This is the side that points it starts to point outwards in my pocket. So this is the side of the pin that will be exposed to the other items that I have in my pockets. And as you can see here, it's already starting to show some wear. It's not a problem for me at all, but I just want to mention that it can wear, and it can wear fairly quickly actually. So the kind of flame finish, it's kind of getting kind of scraped the way down to the bare aluminium. As you can see, the tip also starts to show a bit of wear. There we go, you can see it down there. But what's underneath the flaming is just a clear titanium color, so blank metal color. So yeah, a minor thing you have to be aware of if you purchase this pin is that it can wear quite quickly. And my second complaint is when you unscrew the cap from the pin in order to write something, you cannot attach the cap to this end of the pin. So when you unscrew the cap, you kind of have it in your hand or have to put it back in your pocket. You can't just pop it on top of the pin or store it on the pin somehow, which would have been very, very nice. But again, a minor complaint. So overall, I really like the Böker MPP. It will be part of my EDC, hopefully for the next extended amount of time. And this has been the Danish Woodsman with a quick overlook. I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll have 4 subscribers, and you have the opportunity to become my fifth one. It's not every day you have the opportunity to become someone's 5th subscriber. So press subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. I can tell you, I hopefully have a new Bark River knife coming soon, so stay tuned for that. See you.